It was past 2 in the morning when rain swept through the silent streets of a small, overlooked town on the edge of nowhere. Streetlights flickered dimly, casting halos onto puddles and forgotten sidewalks. Most windows were dark, most doors were locked, but not all hearts were. Cole Bryant, a night shift street cleaner with city sanitation, was just finishing his last route. His boots splashed through the waterlogged pavement, reflective stripes on his jacket blinking against the distant headlights. He was tired, like most nights, but tonight felt heavier somehow, like the sky itself carried a weight it couldn't shake. Then he saw her, standing alone under the dripping awning of a closed deli, was a girl, barely more than 20. Her clothes clung to her skin, soaked through. Her arms were wrapped around herself, like she was holding on to the last pieces of something invisible. She flinched when Cole spoke. "You shouldn't be out here alone," he said, his voice low and steady. "Not tonight. Not in this part of town." Her eyes snapped to his, wide with defiance, but behind that, fear. The kind of fear that isn't just about the dark, the kind that comes from being chased by something no one else can see. "I'm fine," she snapped. "I don't need your pity." Cole didn't move closer. He didn't ask her name. He just stood under the rain and replied, "I'm not offering pity. Just a place with heat, clean water, and no strangers holding knives." She hesitated. For the first time, she blinked back something, maybe pride, maybe tears. Her fingers trembled, her voice dropped. "I was robbed, my phone's dead, my bag is gone." Cole nodded slowly. She didn't ask for help, but she didn't refuse it either. "You want to call someone?" he asked. "No," she said. "I don't want to talk to anyone. I just need somewhere safe. Just till morning." Cole should have walked away. He had a 6-year-old daughter asleep at home, Lily. A couch barely big enough for himself. A routine built on survival, not risks. But something about this girl, the rawness in her voice, the way she looked over her shoulder like something might still be chasing her, cut through every wall he'd spent years building. "My place is 2 blocks from here," he said quietly. "It's not much, but it's warm. You can sleep on the couch." She didn't say yes. Her knees just gave out a little. That was enough. They walked in silence. At the duplex, he handed her a towel, a dry sweatshirt, and gestured toward the small bathroom. "You can shower if you want. The water takes a minute to warm up." She held the bundle close to her chest. Her eyes flickered toward his face, confused by his calmness, maybe even suspicious of it. "Why are you doing this?" Cole shrugged. "Because you looked like you needed help, and I'd want someone to do the same if my daughter ever found herself out here." She didn't answer, but she flinched at the word daughter. While she showered, Cole scribbled a note and placed it beside a warm mug on the coffee table. "If you need to call someone, the landline's on the wall. Closet has more blankets. My daughter's a light sleeper, so please keep the door closed." Then he retreated quietly into the bedroom. Her name, she would later say, was Ava, but that night she was just a girl lost in a storm. And for the first time in days, she felt something real, safe. She curled up on the couch, pulled the blanket over her shoulders, and listened as the rain softened into silence. He hadn't asked her where she was from. He hadn't tried to make her feel small or grateful or indebted. And somehow that meant everything. In a world where everyone wanted something, he wanted nothing. And in that absence, he gave her the one thing she hadn't known she was searching for: a reason to stay. Morning came slowly. The scent of something warm drifted into the living room, faint but inviting. A soft light spilled through the half-open blinds. For a moment, Ava wasn't sure where she was. Then she saw the blanket, the mug, the quiet hallway leading to the rest of the tiny home. A sound caught her attention. Laughter, light, high-pitched, and unmistakably that of a child. She sat up, brushing sleep from her eyes, and spotted a little girl sitting cross-legged on the floor, building a tower from brightly colored blocks. The girl's dark curls bounced as she giggled, completely immersed in her creation. Ava hesitated, then cleared her throat softly. "Good morning," she said. The girl looked up, her eyes lighting with curiosity. "Hi, you're the princess who slept on our couch," she said matter-of-factly. Ava blinked. "Excuse me, my name's Lily," the girl said proudly. "Daddy said a nice lady stayed over because she was cold and got caught in the rain." "That's you." Ava smiled, her first real smile in days. "I guess that is me. Nice to meet you, Lily." A voice called from the kitchen. "Lily, burnt toast duty, you're up." Lily giggled and ran off, leaving Ava to slowly rise and stretch the soreness from her limbs. She followed the scent to the kitchen, where Cole stood with a pan in one hand and a bowl of eggs in the other. "You cook?" Ava asked, half teasing, half impressed. Cole glanced up. "Only when Lily's brave enough to eat it." "Want to help?" She hesitated. "I can try, but I should warn you I'm not very domestic." He handed her a whisk. "Neither am I. That's why we burn a lot of toast in this house." They moved around the kitchen together, awkward at first. Then, with a rhythm that neither expected, Lily climbed a stool to help butter the bread. Ava attempted to flip the eggs and failed spectacularly. The bowl tipped, eggs splattered. "Oh no," she gasped. Lily handed her a paper towel with a grin. "It's okay. Daddy spills stuff too." "A lot?" Ava looked at her, then burst into laughter. Cole didn't say anything. He just smiled and scooped the rest of the eggs back into the pan. They sat down to breakfast, mismatched plates, and overcooked toast. Ava glanced nervously at the food on Cole's plate. "You don't have to pretend it's good," she said. He took a bite, chewed thoughtfully. "It's edible. That counts." She raised an eyebrow. "You're lying." "I'm surviving," he replied. Later, while Cole did the dishes, Ava helped Lily build a Lego house. The girl leaned close and whispered, "Daddy made better eggs after, but he still ate yours." Ava turned to him amused. "So you made extra, huh?" He looked up, caught mid-bite. "You cooked breakfast," he said. "That's what matters." Ava stared at him for a long moment, something softening inside her. "You said last night you'd want someone to help your daughter if she needed it. That was real, wasn't it? He didn't answer. He didn't have to. That night, after Lily fell asleep, Cole mentioned a laundromat nearby. The owner needed help. He offered to walk Ava over if she wanted to earn some money. She hesitated. "I lost everything," she admitted. "My ID, my documents. I was a student. It's complicated." He didn't pry. "You don't have to explain anything," he said. "Just let me know if you want to check it out." She looked at him again. This man had no idea who she really was. And yet, for some reason, he saw her clearer than anyone ever had. At the laundromat, Ava was handed an apron and told, "Clock starts now." By noon, her back ached. Her hands were red from soap and scalding water. Customers barked orders, tossed insults, and treated her like part of the machinery. Still, she stayed. And when she returned to the duplex that night, blistered and exhausted, she found a new pair of white sneakers by the door. Light, sturdy, exactly her size. Inside one was a note. No name, just a sentence. "If you're walking away, at least don't walk in pain." She stood there for a long time. Then she put them on. By the end of her first week at the laundromat, Ava had learned 3 things. 1. No matter how carefully you fold, towels still find a way to unravel. 2. Some people treat service like servitude. And 3. Small acts of kindness, clean shoes, warm food, a patient glance, can shift the weight of an entire life. She started arriving early, sometimes beating Cole home from his night shifts. On quiet mornings, she'd be in the kitchen before sunrise, burning toast, cracking eggs, laughing with Lily over crooked pancake shapes. She didn't mean to stay, but each day made leaving harder. One evening, after a long shift of folding and sorting uniforms for a hotel delivery, Cole offered to help. They worked past midnight, the laundromat buzzing with fluorescent lights and the scent of detergent. As Ava struggled to keep pace, her hands clumsy and aching, Cole folded with calm precision. "I can't feel my fingers," she groaned. "You'll miss them when they're gone," he replied dryly. They loaded the clean laundry into the back of Cole's pickup. As they made deliveries through the quiet streets, something between them shifted again, not loudly, but deeply. Silence settled, not as a void, but as comfort. At one house, Cole handed her a bag. "Number 15, porch lights on." She nodded, stepped out, and walked toward the stoop. Just as she turned back, the porch light flickered, and a large dog burst from behind the gate, snarling. Ava screamed. Her foot twisted on the curb. She hit the pavement hard. The truck door slammed. Cole was already there. He placed himself between her and the dog, arms raised. "Back," he shouted. The dog retreated. Cole scooped Ava up without a word. Back in the truck, his voice was rough, eyes stormy. "I told you to wait. I thought I could handle a bag of laundry," she muttered. "I don't care about laundry," he snapped. "You could have been seriously hurt. What were you thinking?" She'd never seen him angry before. But beneath the frustration, she heard it. Fear. No one had ever yelled at her because they were scared for her. She looked at him, eyes stinging. He rubbed his face and whispered, "You're in the wrong house now." She laughed, wet, broken, real. And for the first time, it didn't feel like a stranger's home anymore. It felt like something else, like belonging. A few days later, while folding laundry, something fell out of her duffel bag and tumbled onto the floor. A necklace, thin gold, a sapphire pendant, delicate, expensive, out of place. Cole passed by. He froze when he saw it. "That," he said, "isn't something a broke student carries around." Ava swallowed. "I forgot it was there," she murmured. He stepped back, his face tightening. "Who are you, really?" She hesitated then. "I'm someone who walked away from a world where everything had a price, except love. That's all you need to know. You lied to me. I left things out. That's the same thing." Her hands trembled. "You don't know what it's like to be watched your whole life, to be told who to love, what to become." "No," he said softly, "but I know what it's like to be honest with someone who isn't." Before she could answer, the door burst open. A man in a leather jacket stepped in, phone raised. "There she is," he muttered, snapping photos. "Your daddy's offering 6 figures to find you." Panic bloomed in Ava's chest. Cole didn't hesitate. He pulled her toward the back exit. They ran. Within the hour, Lily was safe at the neighbor's house. Cole trusted Mrs. Ramirez with his life. Ava watched him strap Lily into her booster seat, quiet, efficient, shielding them all without a second thought. They drove out of the neighborhood in silence. At a red light, Ava noticed the bruise forming on Cole's arm. "Your shirt's torn." He glanced down. "He shoved me. I blocked his camera." "Why didn't you say anything?" "As long as you and Lily are safe, I can deal with a bruise." Ava looked at him, eyes blurring. He wasn't protecting her because of who she might be. He was protecting her because of who he was. Back at home, a black town car waited. 2 men in suits, one open door. Her father stood on the porch, silver-haired, polished, cold. "Emma," he said, "get in the car." Cole stepped forward. "You her father." "I'm Winston Harrington," the man said. "You've been harboring my daughter. I gave her a couch when she had nowhere else to go." Winston scoffed. "This place, this life, it's beneath her. She chose it," Cole replied. "You can't keep her." "I'm not keeping anyone. But I'm not handing her over like a package, either." Emma stepped between them. "Stop," she said to her father. "You made your point. Now come home. This is home." "No," he snapped. "This is where you ran, not where you belong." Cole turned to her. "You don't have to go." Her voice broke. "Yes, I do. No one's forcing me. But they don't have to. It's in the silence, the weight, the name." She stepped back, her face unreadable. She turned toward the car and didn't look back. Cole didn't stop her. He couldn't. He just stood on the porch, fists clenched. Inside, everything was quiet again. But this time, it wasn't peace. It was absence. The days that followed felt hollow. Cole moved through them like someone watching his own life from behind a window. He clocked into his night shift. He swept city sidewalks under yellow light. He returned home before sunrise. Lily still ran to greet him, her tiny feet padding against the floor. But the spark in her eyes had dimmed. She didn't ask where Ava had gone. She just stopped humming when she played. and she began sleeping with the light on. On the fourth night, she started coughing. Cole brushed it off as a cold. Lily always caught something this time of year, but by the second day, the fever came, then chills, then trembling. By midnight, she was burning up. Cole didn't think. He just acted. He scooped her into his arms, keys rattling in his grip, and drove straight to the emergency room. The hospital lights were too bright, too white. They made everything look sharp, like truth without comfort. A nurse took Lily into triage. Cole stayed behind, pacing, watching doors open and close. Then a woman at the front desk spoke. "We need a $6,000 deposit to admit her." Cole stared. "I don't have that. I can pay something now, the rest in a few days." "I'm sorry, that's policy." "Please," he said, voice cracking. "She's 6. She just needs help." Then a voice from behind him, clear, steady, unmistakable. "I've got it." He turned. Ava stood there, hair damp, coat clutched in one hand, no hesitation in her eyes. She walked past him and handed the receptionist her card. "Put it under my name. Everything. Tests. Room. Meds." They didn't speak until Lily was settled in a hospital room. She slept beneath a mountain of blankets, her small face flushed, an IV taped to her arm. Cole sat beside the bed, elbows on his knees, head in his hands. "I didn't ask for this," he whispered. Ava sat quietly in the next chair. "I know." He looked up, exhausted. "I'm sorry. You shouldn't have to be here." She shook her head gently. "You didn't drag me into anything, Cole. I came back." He didn't respond, so she did the one thing she knew would reach him. "You told me once," she said, "that everyone deserves to walk without pain." Her voice softened. "That goes for hearts too." They sat in silence, just the quiet hum of machines and the slow, steady beep of hope. A few days later, Ava stood in the towering marble hallway of her father's penthouse. Floor to ceiling, windows displayed the city like a painting, but she didn't come for the view. Winston Harrington sat at a glass table, reading the financial pages. He didn't look up when she entered. "I figured you'd come back once things settled." "I'm not back," Ava said. "I came to talk." He folded the paper calmly. "You're living in denial, Ava. Playing house with a man who flips pancakes in a kitchen smaller than your closet." She stepped closer. "That man saved me from more than you know." He scoffed. "From what?" "A little discomfort. You had everything, security, legacy, and you threw it away for what?" "I didn't throw it away. I walked away. There's a difference." He stood. "You gave up a future." "No," she said, "I gave up control. I chose dignity." Winston's eyes narrowed. "You're going to choose him." "I already did." His voice cracked like glass. "You love him." "I do." The word hung there, undeniable, irreversible. He poured himself a drink, hand shaking slightly. "I never meant to be the villain." Ava softened. "I know, you just forgot how to be human." He looked down. "He has something I don't. A daughter who loves him for who he is." He didn't answer. She turned to leave. "I'm going back," she said. "Not to hide, to live." And for once, he didn't stop her. But as she reached the door, his voice, quiet now, called after her. "Tell him he's lucky." She paused. "No," she said gently. "I am." But just after sunrise, Cole stood in the kitchen flipping dinosaur-shaped pancakes. He didn't hear the knock right away. When he opened the door, she was there, hair pulled into a bun, jacket damp. In her hands, a brown paper bag. For Lily, she said, real blueberry muffins, no preservatives. He didn't speak. I'm not here to stay the night, she added. I'm here to stay if you'll have me. He searched her face. We're not rich. I've had everything, Cole, but I never had pancakes shaped like dinosaurs. I never had a home that loved me back. He looked at her, years of loneliness flickering behind his eyes. This house is small. It's enough, she whispered. It's full of heart. From behind him, a small voice called out, Emma. They both turned. Lily stood in the hallway, rubbing her eyes. Emma knelt down. Hey, sunshine. I brought muffins. Lily ran into her arms. Are you staying forever? Emma looked up at Cole. He nodded. Yeah, kiddo, she said through tears. Forever sounds good. 2 months later, the park was alive with weekend sounds, dogs barking, children laughing, the aroma of hot food drifting with the breeze. Trees swayed in slow rhythm. Sunlight pooled in patches across the grass. Parked along the side road was Cole's old pickup truck, but it had changed. A wooden frame had been built over the bed. A chalkboard sign hung above the tailgate, hand-painted and slightly crooked. Bryant's morning stand. Pancakes, muffins, coffee, kindness. Emma worked the griddle with a hair tie in her teeth, sleeves rolled up, flipping sizzling breakfast burritos with one hand while wiping her cheek with the other. Her movements were messy, but confident, real. Cole stood beside her, taking orders, always calm. Lily darted between picnic benches with a tray of napkins and homemade stickers, proudly handing them to every customer like they were treasure. They weren't getting rich, but they were building something no inheritance could buy, a life. Emma still wore her sapphire necklace, though now it lay tucked under a plain cotton tee close to her heart, never on display. It reminded her not of wealth, but of the weight she'd chosen to lay down. She never returned to her old world. She didn't need to. She had a different kind of legacy now, one she cooked with her own hands, one she built brick by brick with burnt toast and clean laundry and early mornings in the cold. And Cole was still quiet, still guarded in some ways, but there were cracks now, beautiful ones. Sometimes he smiled before his coffee. Sometimes he laughed without looking away. Sometimes, at night, when the porch light was off and the house had settled, he would sit beside Emma and say almost nothing, just hold her hand like he was holding onto the world. But one evening, after Lily had fallen asleep under a blanket of cartoon stickers and pancake crumbs, Cole leaned against the doorframe of their small kitchen and watched Emma clean up. You're not tired of this yet? He asked. She looked up, flour on her cheek. Of what? This, the mess, the work, the tiny kitchen with the squeaky cabinet door. Emma smiled. I used to sleep in a penthouse with glass walls and polished silence. Do you know what silence sounds like when no one loves you? He didn't answer. It's loud, she said. It's lonely. She wiped her hands on a towel and walked over. This place creaks. The faucet leaks, but it laughs with us. It waits for us to come home. It forgives our burnt muffins. He shook his head, a smirk tugging at the corner of his mouth. You talk a lot now. Yeah, she said softly, because I finally have something to say. The next morning, Lily was sitting on the counter, swinging her legs while Emma braided her hair. Can I help with muffins today? She asked. You already do, Emma said. You bring the smiles. Daddy says you saved him, Lily said suddenly. Emma paused, brush in midair. He says you made him smile again. Emma blinked quickly. Well, she whispered, he saved me too, just with fewer pancakes. That night, long after the last muffin was sold and the truck packed up, Emma and Cole sat on the porch steps, watching fireflies blink in the distance. Do you miss it? He asked. The world you came from. Emma thought about it. I miss the view sometimes, but not the feeling. What feeling? That I had to be someone else just to be enough. Cole was silent for a while. Then he turned toward her. You've always been enough. She smiled, eyes glassy but steady. You too. He reached for her hand, his fingers rough and warm. Do you think, he began, then paused. What? She asked. Do you think we're doing okay? Emma leaned her head against his shoulder. We're not rich, she said, but we're safe. We're not fancy, but we're honest. We don't have much, he said. We have everything that matters, she finished. And in that quiet, shared truth, something deep inside both of them healed. Sometimes, the richest lives are built not with money, but with kindness. Sometimes, the strongest homes are held together not by walls, but by promises. And sometimes, all it takes is a couch, a cup of warm water, and the quiet bravery to show up for someone without asking who they are, just trusting who they might become. This wasn't a fairy tale, but it was real, and sometimes real is even better.